With billions of dollars being spent on blockbuster films, it's hard to watch an epic action fantasy or science fiction movie just once.
Sharks! Laser sharks!
But even with repeat viewings, some awesome or unbelievable details will always slip by viewers' eyes. We're determined to fill in fans on every cool Easter egg or inside reference.
God, does anybody actually believe this?
So we hope you enjoy Screen Rant's 10 amazing hidden details in movies. Pearl Harbor. Plenty of cash was spent on the special effects of Pearl Harbor, but apparently either director Michael Bay or the special effects team decided they still had room for some fun. Once the movie made it to home video, fans started noticing a standout extra among the wounded sailors. As strange as it may seem, it appears that Bruce Willis's tough-as-nails cop John McClane was spliced out of Die Hard and into the World War II era drama. Since the footage of a bruised and battered McClane in an undershirt isn't an exact match to any of the Die Hard scenes, some skeptics say it's all a coincidence. But the size and perspective shows it's clearly an added digital effect, and one that can never be missed once it's pointed out. The Matrix. Most fans of the Wachowskis' game-changing sci-fi series know that the movie's plot forms a perfect circle. The hotel room 303 where the movie begins is also the same place where Neo becomes the One, but fans probably missed an even bigger example. The first movie ends with a serious phone call, as Neo told the machines that he planned on freeing humanity. 2 sequels followed, but when Neo finally ended the war in his epic battle with Agent Smith, their fight is set at that exact intersection. When the two slam into the street, you can even catch a glimpse of the phone booth from the first film. Talk about coming full circle. Iron Man. Tony Stark found out the hard way that even friends can't be trusted, when his business partner Obadiah Stane revealed that he was funding terrorists and building his own suit of armor. But Iron Man should have known he was up to no good way before that. When Tony finds Stane playing some piano in his Malibu mansion, it's not a random bit of music, but a sample of Antonio Salieri's Piano Concerto in C.
Just because I brought pizza back from New York doesn't mean it went bad.
Music buffs, or those who saw the movie Amadeus, will get the hint, since Salieri was long rumored to have sabotaged and killed Mozart. The composer's rivalry wasn't anywhere close to Stark and Stane's, but the hint was there all along. The Lego Movie. Directors Chris Miller and Phil Lord beat the odds when they made a movie about Lego a worldwide hit. The film even included Superman and Green Lantern, played by Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, the stars of their previous surprise hit, the rebooted 21 Jump Street. It wasn't the only nod to that story of undercover cops, though. When Emmett's apartment is first shown, a poster can be seen advertising the movie Teen Cops, an obvious reference to Jump Street. But the poster next to it takes the cake, since the Tatum Hill comedy really was sold to Russian audiences with the hilarious title, Macho and the Nerd. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. For those not versed in Harry Potter mythology, we'll just say that to bring down Lord Voldemort, the 3 Deathly Hallows were sort of an important combination. It wasn't until the second last book that audiences learned that a cloak, stone, and Elder Wand held the key to victory, but the idea was teased ahead of time, as in 2 full movies ahead of time. In one of the franchise's best Easter eggs, Dumbledore tells Harry that he's been searching for such a detail.
Every time I get close to an answer, it slips away.
The answer is literally right in front of him in the form of a 3D version of the Deathly Hallows symbol stored in his office. Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. Every fan of Disney and Pixar knows to keep an eye out for the code A113, the room number that the studio's top animators all studied in when attending the California Institute of Arts. But it doesn't stop at animated movies. When Brad Bird graduated from directing movies like The Incredibles and Ratatouille to Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol, he made sure to give a nod to his roots. Watch closely and you'll spot the code on a trick ring used by IMF agents to inject a sleeping agent into their unsuspecting target. The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. The Hunger Games series took a major step up in budget and spectacle with its second installment, but not every edition was taken completely seriously. When Katniss and Peeta are heading out to make their grand entrance before the next games, the doorway they pass under is clearly marked with the code PDL736. The meaning isn't complicated, it's just an address. 736 Ponce de Leon Avenue, a hip-hop club that the cast would frequent when filming in Atlanta, Georgia. Man of Steel. Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers wanted to make a clean start with Man of Steel, but that didn't mean the director wanted to ignore the version of the DC hero who came before, specifically the original films from director Richard Donner. The updated version of the ship that brought Kal-El to Earth played a big part in the story, but when Kal-El had his escape explained by his father Jor-El, the version of the ship is obviously modeled after Donner's version, not Snyder's. The Avengers: Age of Ultron. It wasn't just powerful fighters or alien invaders that Marvel's Avengers had to tackle in their second team-up, but a girl who could force them to face their worst fears or tempt them with a better life. For Captain America, that meant sending him back to a USO soiree before he was frozen for decades. Pay attention to the band though. The Roy Thomas Players aren't named after a musician, but a Marvel Comics legend. Roy Thomas spent years writing X-Men, Avengers, Doctor Strange, and even created modern characters like Adam Warlock and Vision, who makes his movie debut in the same film. Star Trek Into Darkness. Before Chris Hemsworth was famous as the Marvel hero Thor, he splashed onto the scene playing Captain Kirk's father George. The 2009 reboot saw George killed in battle aboard the USS Kelvin, but his legacy, and that of the ship, lived on. In the sequel, fans were probably too busy trying to make sense of the bomb plot and blood transfusions to notice that the seat of the disaster was the Kelvin Memorial Archive. Named for Kirk's ship, it means the destruction of the Kelvin set the plots of both films in motion, a subtle nod that only the diehard fans might have caught. Alright, we want to hear from you if we missed any of your favorite Easter eggs, obscure references, or hidden secrets. So sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you click subscribe and check out our other videos. You won't be disappointed. Thanks!